But if you guys haven't heard, we have Mr. Christopher Porter and Nathan Bear on. Okay, I got to throw one in there though too. Like, so after the last gear list, I'm not going to call it a debacle. The slight debacle. Yeah. I mean, we kind of were a peanut gallery, kind of roasting him a little bit, giving him a lot of good advice. He has been the most, I'm saying the most, capital letters, requested podcast guest afterwards. People are like, when's Sport coming on? When's Sport coming on?
He's clearly been the most requested, for sure.
Give the people what they want, man.
Yep.
That's why you're here.
That's why you're here. Yep. So this is going to kick off basically another round. We had Ethan on last week talking about his sheep hunt. This is going to kick off another one of like hunt story recaps. And I really like these because it's not just about the hunt story. It's logistics. It's draw strategies. It's hunt planning, hunt tactics. There's a lot of nuggets in here.
Yeah.
I really want to get into with Porter. And he's already smirking. He's already like nervous.
And I always like the hunt recaps too, because like we always say, it's cool to have a hunt filmed and you have that memory forever. But film can't capture like literally everything. There's always some stuff where you're just like, man, I wish that was on film.
Behind the scenes kind of stuff.
The behind the scenes shit. It's awesome.
That's why Big Nate's here to keep me honest. So if
he already said he's going to fact check you.
Hard.
Yeah.
I didn't say hard. I just
yeah. You didn't say hard.
No.
But you did say you were going to fact check him.
Yes, I did.
Perfect. Hey, promo. Okay, we're 5 minutes in. This is the shortest ever to promo.
Okay, so everyone who's been requesting that we reduce the banter, they're going to love this one.
Oh, they're going to love it.
Yeah, perfect. So yeah, promo. So guys, we're going to be talking about, like I said, a lot of hunt logistics, hunt planning. We're in application season right now. Deep in application season, actually. Like, even though it's the start, I feel like it's the deep. You should already be researching a lot. So use promo code podcast when you sign up for GOHUNT Insider. You're going to get 50 points back to the GOHUNT Gear Shop. $50 you can spend on anything. And this podcast, we're going to be talking about a lot of logistics because I want to dive into your research. I want to dive into your maps, how you use maps scouting, how you plan this whole hunt. And so, yeah, this is going to be a lot of in-depth stuff about Insider and just how you found the hunt.
I genuinely used our product end to end to go on this hunt. It's kind of like an experiment, but also I really had a clean slate like a year ago. I had no plans going into 23, so there was a good use case there, and I did learn a lot and got a lot of value. So
yeah, because this was pretty much your big hunt of the year, right? So you did a lot of work.
This is your only hunt,
yeah,
which is so weird. Why did you do that to yourself?
That's a good question. I mean, we had a lot going on with work, and you guys know my wife works a lot, and I got
didn't stop me and Brady.
Boom, fist pound.
Coaching soccer.
Hey, I
coached baseball.
Wait, buddy. No offense, but it's like when they're 4 years old and it's t-ball.
That's true.
Dude, I'm like,
they don't even know how to run the bases.
All-star soccer. I'm like the coach, like super into it. By the way,
I heard a story about you over the weekend.
Hey, you could insert a video of me coaching. My wife's got a couple great vids.
And here's what I'm going to insert. So I heard a story of you over the weekend that you did not tell me.
What?
You got a yellow card from the ref on the sideline as the coach.
Oh wait, what?
Really?
Get a red.
Yay, you got a yellow. I've never seen a coach yellow.
And held back by another parent. This is what I heard over the weekend.
My wife's a narc. And
I heard it's on film, and I feel like this is the one we need to put on film.
That clip.
You will die laughing. I was hoping you didn't ever hear that story, but it was like the playoff game, the final game.
Championship game?
Championship game. And of the playoffs, it was to go to like Arizona to the tournament champions. It was a big game. And the ref kind of just made some bad calls. And I mean, they're volunteers. Like I can only be so bold with my critique, right? But he was starting to get annoyed with me, and I was like pushing. And then literally this person pushed my daughter and like to the ground and then scored a goal. It was like just the most outrageous foul ever, and he didn't call it. And I was chirping for sure. And he goes, "That's it." And he takes out his like card like he's gonna give me one, and I go, like, "Give it to me." You know, like what do you do with your yellow card? And he didn't.
I heard you had to be held back by a different parent.
That's a slight
I heard it's on film.
The other coach was technically holding me back. I wasn't being physical.
Technically holding me back.
I just picture him like throwing a lawn chair. You
Yeah.
know, like you see
Bobby
like,
Knight.
a couple movies. Yeah, just
I got a warning from the board like earlier in the season because
Oh, here we go.
I had a little bit of a reputation. I would like, you know, they said I was good because I was always pretty positive, but I mean, I would scream, attack! You gotta want it, you know, to these 9 and 10-year-old girls. But like the one time I got in trouble earlier in the season was what?
Yeah, it's not a we. This is a you thing.
That's a good point. I got in trouble. It was like game 3 or 4 or whatever, and we just let a terrible goal happen. I took my hat, a GOHUNT hat, plug GOHUNT softie, and chugged it on the floor and like picked it up quick. But then I got like a stern email from the board about throwing a hat. Like the rules, you're always supposed to say positive.
Well, really, children's sports, yeah.
my man shows emotion.
He
you know?
does. He does show emotion. I will say though, like coaching even though he is coaching baseball, you can't control it sometimes. Like it's tough. Even though I mean it's your kid, it's like I had no problem staying quiet for myself. Like when I played, and you know, just deal with it on the back end or make up for it on the next play. But when it's your kid, like, it flies sometimes.
100%.
Yeah, it flies.
Fine.
I never got an email from the board, and I never got a yellow
I
card or had to be held back by a different parent.
I have passion for sure.
Me just like loudly saying something for other people to hear is like kind of out of the norm for me, you know, like to create a scene. I did a couple times, but that was about as far as it went.
There's something about your kid and you're just
Yeah, it's
competitive.
tough.
But Omar and Cody for the film came out and got some B-roll of me coaching soccer like the night before we left and stuff. But
Perfect.
There's some good footage of my wife. I'll give it to you, Cody. But anyway, you asked why I didn't hunt. Like between coaching soccer and work and family and just the ages of, it's just tough. So I decided instead of like spreading myself kind of thin across a couple hunts, I was going to go one. I burned, a good amount of points. I was going to go hard on it, planning, researching, not cut the day short, and all that good stuff. So it was a light season, though, like too light for sure. But what are you going to do?
So take me back to before you put your app in. What did you do to try to find this hunting opportunity? Because you said you had to burn a lot of points. There's actually probably a little bit more pressure when you do have a lot of points.
Yeah.
You're going to be burning because it's going to take you a long time to probably get a tag like this again.
Yeah.
Kind of walk me through your process of how you found this hunt, how you started like diving in to figure out like, hey, this is the one, this is the unit in this said state. I'm not going to say a state unless you want to. You guys know my feeling on that, but you can do whatever you want. This is your show.
It's Colorado.
There we go.
Colorado.
I'm just cringing right now, but yeah, walk me through the process.
But I will. Okay, so to like help disguise the unit a little bit for you, Brady, I'll say I burned 5 to 10 points. So
Okay.
enough that was definitely meaningful.
You can say the exact amount of points you burned.
No.
We're here for the people. That's what that's what Trail and I hold people accountable for. We're here for the people.
But
How many points did you burn?
My guy Bradley's gonna like be. I don't want to get a stern.
You know how many
Stern
units are in
Bradley-
Colorado that take that many points?
Bradley can deal with it.
I might
right
be-
at the point break. No.
We didn't have to tell him it was at the point break. You just had to tell him how many.
How many points you burned? It just puts it in perspective.
Anyway, 5 to 10. It was enough to like be to care.
Okay. Yeah, that's a lot of points. That's a lot of years.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so like a year ago now it was like going into it, going, okay, what can I draw? I didn't have enough for Wyoming. I was worried about winter call, so that was kind of out. I looked hard at Arizona. I have a good number in Arizona at this point, but it's like a little bit in between. Nevada, I drew deer tag a couple years ago. I drew an elk tag. I'm still locked out. So like it ended up being like Colorado. I'm saving up another year or two for a deer hunt that I'm kind of targeting in Colorado, but elk kind of like Colorado elk is kind of seemed to what makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, what can I draw? I have enough points to be dangerous, and I started narrowing it down, and obviously looked at draw odds. To me, draw odds is like just the entry point. Can I draw this tag? Green light, go. Red light, no. Right. So I go green light into the ones I can draw.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to be burning way more points than you have to, right? So you're trying to figure out like where you want to cash in at the right value, generally speaking. And I'm looking at bullet cow ratios. I'm looking at this. I'm looking at that. One thing I really unlocked, so I'm looking at the private, and then I leveraged the unit profile a lot more than I have in previous years. And what I realized this year was like I went down to the unit profile section or the comments on the unit profile of this one unit. There's a couple units I was looking, so I started playing in the comments down below. Our members it's incredible. I haven't looked like hard in a year or so, but I mean we average 50 to 100 comments per unit profile now, and because it's kind of like behind, you have to be a member. It's like it seems like members are really trying to help members, but it's like really helpful. They're not saying like go to this ridge and you're gonna shoot a giant and stuff, but they're like helpful around access and things like that. And so anyway, I just started commenting back and forth with a couple people that had the tag in previous years and learned a little bit and exchanged some email addresses, with a couple of the guys and was talking. And so I really got a lot of value in like, engaging with the membership base on this. So I was looking at like 2 or 3 units and applied for the one that I picked and drew it.
Did you do any sort of combination of like maps research with using, like draws and filtering and tools like that?
Yeah, it's a good question. So I hadn't done a true backpack hunt in a long time, right? So we had done llamas. One was one with Brandon. We filmed those. Those were great, but it was like llamas and, I was able to take my pesto and tortillas and sandwiches and,
Oh yeah, Pesto King over there.
12 cans of fuel. I mean, you get to bring the luxuries, and we had cots.
Ooh, that's a luxury.
Oh gosh,
That's a real luxury.
but we had those. What are those? Helionox.
Helionox chairs.
2
that kind of-
pounds. I mean, it's a luxury, but it's because it's 2 pounds. It's like debatable
It's debatable.
whether you do. You could even talk yourself into on a backpack hunt. But anyway, so I really wanted a true backpack hunt, and so I was leveraging maps even more than normal.
Like during the research phase.
Yeah, during the research phase of like kind of how much access is there. I was kind of looking for less access and a good trail system and things like that. So yeah, I was e-scouting pretty good amount early.
And then I want to jump into more on like, so you ended up drawing the tag.
Yep.
You knew you were going to draw it.
It wasn't like I was like a pretty big favorite, but with potential point creep or whatever, it was definitely still a sweat.
Yeah.
But I should draw it. Yeah, I was supposed to have a couple more than I need, like 2 more than I needed. I was supposed to draw it.
And this is why I want to get into the map side, because you did a lot of work ahead of time. I'm going to give you a lot of props for that.
That's what Porter does, man. That's what he does.
Yeah. So like, I remember getting called in your office all the time. You even had your computer, you had your cast it up to the TV. Like you were doing like big picture e-scouting down
Come in here,
to like,
take a seat. In this nice leather chair, I'll throw it on the big screen and we'll start running through everything.
Get you a cup of coffee. Get
yeah,
comfy.
you did. Yeah. So like walk me through what you were kind of looking at. And because you never stepped foot in this unit, you never did any boots on the ground pre-scouting. So it was all going to be e-scouting. So like, how did you kind of go about picking out your access points, where you're going to glass, what kind of terrain you're looking for? How are you trying to figure out maybe where these bulls might be in the season that you had?
Yeah. So great questions. Yeah, this particular unit from here in Vegas is a poke, right? You're talking well over a 10-hour drive. Tough to get boots on the ground, tough to get too much scouting in. So yeah, I really leaned on e-scouting, talking to members that have hunted it before, trying to get trail systems down and things like that. I also wanted to secure like a good like team or like friends, like especially backpacking with elk. Like you can do it solo, but
And that's why Nate is here.
it's a bit. This is Big Nate, even though he's not like a real big individual. We had 2 Nates on the hunt,
Yeah, normal size.
normal size, not little, not big.
Yeah.
Normal size Nate.
We lifted, by the way, this morning. 5:30. He met me at the gym.
And I heard you quit
We
early.
pumped. You're so full of shit.
Nate is the fact checker. He told me, I walked in here this morning.
That's
it was,
fake news. You know that's fake news.
It was
we
just-
went hard. At the very last minute, I had to go get my girls to school. God forbid I'm a father.
Just saying, last whatever. I don't know if it was the end of the workout, but on the last set we were doing, he says, "Okay, I got to go in 5 minutes." And I'm like, "Okay."
we can still get it done.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this is Big Nate because our film guy, who was awesome, who's a bigger individual than Nate. He's a big dude, but we call him Little Nate because
But he's younger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 people on the hunt, and 2 of them were named Nate. It was weird. But anyway, Big Nate here. So yeah, one of the perks of working at GOHUNT and more senior role is you can ask people if they want to hunt with you. So
You can poach some help.
yeah. So Nate was like, sure. Like, work at the office for a week or go hunting elk and help you out, I'm in.
Yeah.
So he was in real early, fit for his schedule, and then my buddy Scott, who's been around the office, you know Scott,
Yep.
went on Lorenzo and I's deer hunt last year. Knew we're into hunting. Air Force, really, really close buddy of mine, went on the hunt, who we could talk about in a little bit, but he's like, for a new hunter, he's like very experienced very quickly in certain things, right? Because of his military background.
Yeah.
It's the pilot in him, and it's the eyes, and it has to do with his vision.
It's
Well,
crazy.
it's not just that he's a pilot, because like a commercial pilot, you know what I mean, flying Southwest.
Yeah, F-16 pilot.
He's hunting. He's hunting. It's just a different species.
Yeah.
He's literally like one of the best fighter pilots we have in our country.
Ever. Yeah, like one of the best ones ever.
Plug Scotty.
And it's kind of weird. Like when you do, I've gotten to know Scott well through you. And it's kind of crazy. Like you talk to him and he's just such a good dude. He's so awesome. And then you kind of find out, you know, his stature, and you're like, I know you. Like you're just a normal, like I just hang out with you normally, but like your job, this is really weird. So I always try to poke him for his job. He can't tell me shit, obviously, but I try my hardest.
He's big time in the Air Force, though. We can't even probably share as much as we know, but he's big time, and he's really smart and intelligent, all that good stuff.
So his hunting for him, it translates very well.
Yeah, it's
Extremely
true.
well.
It's true.
Translates well.
But we had a-
Logistics, finding, all that stuff, strategy.
They had never met, but we had a great time. But rewinding, so like the team was secured
You
Crew.
got the A team.
early on. It's like July, and I'm asking these guys for copies of their gear list.
Yep.
Like,
That's no joke.
That's legit. I'm proud of you, Porter.
Thanks, Bradley. It means a lot. You know, one of the kindest things Lorenzo ever said to me was last podcast when he said I was the logistics king.
Oh,
That's
you
what I
definitely are.
wanted to get into here in a second. But I want to know a little bit more like the maps research side. Did you create like a hunt folder you were sharing with Nate? Was Nate doing a little bit of e-scouting as well?
Yeah.
Like how'd you combine that unit? It's a giant unit. How do you narrow it down?
Yeah, so July, August.
July and August.
What's your perspective? Because you probably like when
I
did I
started
start
getting
peppering
things
you?
before. I was still scouting my units for my hunts, and I'm getting bombarded just with, in a great way. I mean, because it was a bunch of information and all of his ideas and thoughts. Because then he'd send me a folder of all this stuff. And then he'd like text me like little individual things. What do you think about this? I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking about that. And so then you got to put the pieces together.
Yep.
And then a week and a half later, you'll get on a call with him, and then he'll make the puzzle come together. So, I mean, it was a little different at first, but, I mean, no shortage of, like, info or his ideas, you know, because everything's turning, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it's
Oh,
a
yeah.
million pieces, and then eventually you get it all together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But, you know, he was dialed.
That's what I wanted to bring up because like it resonates well with me for a lot of people. Like you always hunt with your buddies, you know. You each maybe both have a tag. You're e-scouting the same thing, and like you guys did a really good job. I felt like of combing the entire unit through e-scouting. Like we're gonna get in a second. Like you're the logistics king.
It's
Like you guys had everything dialed way ahead of time. I think that was like, you know, what set yourself up for a good plan going forward. You knew everything. You knew everything like the back of your hand before you stepped foot in the unit, pretty much from what I saw.
So part of, for sure, and it gets really hairy when you're like 2 and 3 weeks out. The level of detail, like you have like an itinerary.
We had an itinerary.
but it's what I realized this year too is like, especially with only having one tag, is it's my way to like feel like I'm hunting longer. Like, I actually really enjoy it. That's what I realized. Like geeking out on gear, testing gear, breaking in boots, changing my mind, all that. That's part of a huge part of the enjoyment, and it makes me feel like I'm hunting way more than I'm actually hunting.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking about it, and that's my favorite thing about those backpack hunts is like all the logistics, all the thought that goes into it, gets your mind turning. I love that part of it. It makes me just think, and I love it. So, yeah, we like. It was early on. It was like, okay, what backbones are we hunting? What are like our main regions? What are our main areas? And you know that took a month or so back and forth. They're real casual, and then it started to get real tight. So yeah, I created a hunt folder, right? 2023 Colorado elk. Shared it with him and Scott. Updated constantly, and I would text. I had created a group text, and I would be texting him when I updated it, what I updated it with. I was doing icons of like glassing spots. Of course, like a certain color meant glassing, and then I'd do the icon glassing, and then, You know, if I talked to a member that said they had seen elk here before, I would put an elk icon there and things like that. So, I mean, how many waypoints did we have probably going into the hunt?
Oh, over 50.
Yeah.
And I think it was somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And doing all that, especially like during that time frame, you got to definitely, it was quick to see how many little areas or spots disappeared. And it was, you know, based off of either how drainages looked or this and that, or just based it on like ease. Like we have X amount of days, what's feasible, what's not. And based on the intel that he drug up, you know, throughout planning, you quickly learned, okay, well, obviously the 90% of what we understand or know is here. We can get rid of the rest, and that really helped us, you know, get honed in on what we wanted to do.
I mean, this is a first rifle hunt, so it's 5 days.
That's tight. See, that's why planning up ahead is.
That's why logistics and the planning and scouting was so critical going into it. I mean, 5 days, as you guys know, you don't want to be on day 3 of a 5-day hunt and be like really back to the drawing board. Like, so.
And we almost were.
Yeah, we almost were. So it was, we were early on, we finalized like our arrival dates. And so it was going to be, it opened on a producer over there breaking the cell
Yeah,
phone
producer.
rule.
Yep.
That's why we don't give a mic.
Yeah. That Hinge just
Redacted.
beeping you? Tinder? So hunt opened on a Saturday.
Yes.
So we committed early on to be driving really early on Wednesday morning, like really early, to be able to scout Wednesday night, all day Thursday, all day Friday.
Yep.
So should we get into like the rival plans? Or
This is what I wanted to get into. So you've been known for the longest time here at GOHUNT, all right? Everyone's seen the videos. You're the undisputed Undie King. But I heard something from Nate that he joked earlier off air. He said you're the Undie Queen.
Nate,
You didn't
yes.
say that. Did you say that?
Well, I did, but for good reason, because we have to be honest here. How are you feeling after the hunt? How are you walking back to the hotel after we got off the mountain and we had dinner?
Did I get a little bit of chat butt?
You did.
Did I? Oh, you know why?
You forgot if you got chap ass.
Here we go.
Dude,
It came out.
it was like the last day. Do you know why? Remember? My ratio of baby wipe to TP, I went a little bit too moist, and when you do that, that's the risk with baby wipes.
You got to dry it out.
If you
Gotta
trap
dry
some
it out.
moist in there,
Yeah.
chap butt. You're right. When I came off the mountain, I did have some chap butt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing that would ruin my hunt. I was feeling my feet
No,
were feeling. Well, I had one blister pop.
The Boot King as well, he's been known as. But
on the hunt, everything was okay.
Okay,
but it
everything was
was once we got back to
right.
That was just his body like expelling the stress of the hunt. It's
Yes.
just like, oh, we're done now. I
Yeah.
can do this.
so I just wanted to get that part of the way because based on our gear podcast we did, you are now known as the Logistics King. And this is where I give you even more credit because you were tracing lines on your map ahead of time. We were estimating how long it was going to take you to get in there. You were taking, maps from where you were staying, travel time. You were including all that before you guys got in the field. So you had how long it was going to take you to hike to that knob. That knob, driving to get over here if we have to do a backup plan, how long that's going to take. Like that is in-depth level e-scouting to the point where you are the Logistics King.
And it's no waste of time. One thing I wanted to jump into, one of the
It's
things.
my birthday. You guys are being awfully nice.
One of the things, honestly, that I think a lot of people could learn from, including myself, because I am not the Logistics King and I don't do hardly enough work going into a hunt. But when you guys were sharing screens, like you took advantage of Zoom and Google Hangouts, where you would share your presenting screen to Nate or to Scott, and we would run through.
Yeah.
Well, I was in there watching. I was part of it just on your screen.
Yeah.
And then these two guys were back at their places, Scott and Nate. And it's like that visual to make sure you're talking about the same thing all the time.
Yeah.
That really helped you, Nate and Scott too, knowing what they're doing. And then to take that even a step further, it was Porter's hunt and he had these guys helping him. You had their logistics dialed. You with the itinerary for Nate is
I couldn't freelance anything.
Nate, no,
It was,
it's Nate, you are showing up between 3 and 4 p.m. Literally within an hour.
Yeah.
Like you're showing up between 3 and 4. Here's where you're going to go. So you're going to get there 2 hours before me. This is where you're going to go. I'm going to show up between 5 and 6, and this is where I'm going to go. It's like it was literally dialed like on their side. There was no room for.
It made it easy for the help.
Yeah, there's no room for like, oh, I'm just going to wing it and maybe turn.
I mean,
something up.
I'm a planner in my everyday life trips. I'm the one that like book stuff in my family. Like I'm a planner by day, every day. But this being my only hunt of the year, I'm wanting to maximize every ounce of time in the field, and it only being 5 days actually was a really big blessing in disguise because it forced me to have a really good plan. I will then apply this to even 9-day hunts because I just feel like I learned a lot. And so yeah, when we started really tightening up the plan, like after we had our zones figured out, it was like, okay, we get there Wednesday afternoon. What area can we cover with glass with a minimal amount of hiking because we were driving in that day to check off a spot, and we had to divide and conquer. So he goes to a spot on the north side of the unit. Scott and I go south side of the unit. That night we meet in town, we share. Next morning we have more time, right?
Yep.
We hike up. That's what you're talking about. Like my favorite knob, which by the way, the hiking, all that was dialed. The logistics part of it was dialed. That knob sucked. But like, remember that knob that we'd look at?
Oh yeah, we looked at it constantly.
Yeah. It was way thicker than it looked.
Yeah.
But went there. He went to his spot. Met back midday Thursday. So we've covered 4 spots by middle of Thursday. Still doesn't open until Saturday. He goes to a spot Thursday night and so on and so on. But anyway, by Thursday, so our plan, the good news, our plan was good. We were efficient. We checked off.
The plan was incredible. But
The bad news.
what we were finding
is
was
nothing.
not incredible.
Okay.
We saw nothing.
Yep.
We were like
Well, we saw a couple raghorn
raghorns.
dinks.
Well, that was
Friday morning.
Friday morning.
Yep.
So Wednesday night and all day Thursday, we didn't see an elk.
Yeah, we were
And this
little
isn't a
nervous.
unit where elk density is supposed to be pretty good. There's some private and stuff. Like there's things that make it more challenging, but elk density is not supposed to be one of the challenges. We didn't see an elk.
So then how are you modifying your remaining scouting days, boots on the ground, to accomplish that then?
We stuck with the plan to check off the box. So that's one thing I liked about his logistics was even after the first night and the first day, like we still hadn't seen shit. And the terrain is not, I wouldn't say it's worse. It's just, it's harder to pick apart. That was one of the thickest places I've ever been.
So much thicker than we realized.
I mean, whether it was timbered thick or burnt thick did not matter. That was weird. So it was just, we weren't being able to see any of what we thought we were going to see. So like I said, we just stuck to the plan. And finally by Friday morning, we had one more on the list, and that was pack up and go in.
The good news was it was our number one spot. We couldn't get glass on it. We were trying these spots to get glass on it, and we just couldn't without backpacking in.
Yep.
The second spot he did backpack in on Thursday and didn't see nothing. So like that was scary because that was a second spot, almost number one spot. We loved the second spot. He crossed that off the list, and then Thursday night we're like, there was really no point to backpack in the dark because you weren't going to really be like,
Thank God
get
we
glass on anything. So you might as well check off another spot that's easier to get to, and then just backpack in after the morning hunt, which is what we did. So Friday morning, went to a thick, nasty little spot. I had to hike up. The little knob was rocky, and we saw those raghorns. And then we get back, and we're like getting ready to backpack in, and it was a weird feeling because we had not confirmed that there were elk there at all.
Zero. So I mean, we're either going to hit it or not, and we better hit it because guess what? We're out of spots. So that was the weird part about it.
But I like the plan though so far. You basically did the whole process of elimination, find areas where there's not elk to then find areas hopefully will have elk. So you went to the easier spots first, tried to get big glass and look a long distance. That didn't work. And you slowly worked into your A plan, which was going to be backpacking. So it wouldn't have probably made sense to jump in there right away, cross off those other areas. Could be a big bull in those spots too. So you're trying to cover everything. So Friday, did you go into it? Your last scouting day, did you go into it backpacking for food and everything for the rest of the hunt, or did you go in for that day and then come out and then go back in?
Great question. We kept going back and forth on that. We were thinking 2 and 3 days, but then it was like, it's 5-day hunt. because yeah, we were thinking about going in light, and then we can always go back and fuel up. But like the hike was, we had it tracked at like 4.5. It ended up being like 6 for a reason we can explain in a second. But it was a lot to like go back to the truck and back in. Like you all know when you're up there, you're like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So we just ended up going in full boat, like expecting to not come in there or out of there till the day after the hunt.
Yeah.
That was definitely something we debated though. But it was a weird feeling because even if we got skunked, we were burning 2 days of the hunt. We weren't coming out of there till day 3 because when you go in there, you're not coming. And it's big country. You got to roll a couple basins. So it's like it was uncomfortable. And I remember. Well, first we get to our spot to hike in, and there's a gate. There's not supposed to be a gate at all. You look at the map, you look at satellite imagery. It's all public. There's no reason for a gate.
We even had local intel that said there was no gate.
Wow.
And this gate's been there for a long time.
And there was damage on a road.
Yeah.
That from rain, which is not going to be mapped, and I even called the national forest,
The Forest Service in the
ranger. Yeah, I really couldn't get through, but they probably would have told me.
Yeah.
That's I guess one thing I could have done differently is really get aggressive on the ranger station to get the road stuff, but that road was closed, so the hike ended up being that was an extra 1.5 miles on just walking on a road.
And that's so defeating.
Oh.
There's nothing more deflating than being on a road when you realize you could have a vehicle if it wasn't gated.
Then you get to a state piece, and we all know the state piece is in Colorado, which is frustrating. Then you get to a state piece, it's public land, but they lease it out.
Yeah.
Gate. So then we're bushwhacking. We're supposed to be able to just go to this trailhead and go.
Yeah, and I gotta go
Then
around.
we're bushwhacking around the state. So we are 2.5, 3 hours into the hike before we hit the trailhead, and it's actually like what we're supposed to be starting on.
Oh.
So it's starting off on a little shaky ground.
And no elk up to this point. Going in.
Now you're on the trail. You're not seeing sign. Okay. We're looking at each other going, you seen sign? No, I haven't seen sign. Let's keep at it.
Old.
Really?
Sign?
Old. Like
Old.
winter sign. Like this is where they come in a month or so.
And now because the state piece is blocking one of the things, the trail system is not nearly as good as we anticipated.
Washed out. I mean, there's parts of it where you could see it, and then there's parts where it's non-existent for a long ways. So it was a little brutal, and we're all kind of like in the back of our minds, we're like, oh shit, but we were just like, screw it, we're in here, and this is literally our plan, so let's just do it.
At least the only cherry on top I can think of is kind of like a barrier of entry though for other people. Like you might realize you can possibly
that's
have a
what I was
spot
thinking.
yourself.
And that is true. We ended up getting up there and we kept going. That was the blessing. It was like no one's been up here for a long time.
Yeah.
We had the entire mountain to ourselves.
Yeah, I'd say with the whole preparation and scouting and stuff like that, it's e-scouting and this and that, I'm a big proponent on seeing it first. Like, this was probably the first time I think I've gone in completely blind just off of e-scouting, and that was the only, that worried me a lot. And because if you have a chance to see it first, you find out about all these issues and this and that. But I didn't have time in my schedule. He didn't have time. So if you have the chance, it's always best to put eyes. But if you don't, try to give yourself as many A, B, and C plans as possible just for people that are listening. But it was good that we had that.
Yeah,
So,
I agree.
and we still had some roadblocks, but if you got ways to figure out how to get around them, cool.
Yeah, and that makes those days before the hunt more essential too. Like, yeah, you could have showed up on Friday going with your plan, but you wouldn't have known all that stuff hadn't you had those prior scouting days.
Exactly.
How'd you find out that state piece was leased?
Got to a gate. There's literally gated. Like we're on this road, so this road's closed, which we didn't think was going to be closed, but that's because it was washed out.
Yeah.
So that explains that.
You didn't call the county?
No. So that's that I could have done, and I
Yeah.
also could have called the ranger station.
Yeah.
And really.
So that's how you figure out in Colorado is you can call that county assessor and ask if it's
Yeah.
leased.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes if it was like for grazing or whatever, or I don't know. Like, I mean, it was a legit gate,
Yeah.
like a very
with
legit gate.
signs
Yeah.
and everything that pretty much stated such.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was not
It was posted? Yeah, so it was leased. 100%.
100%
Yeah.
no trespassing. It was
Yeah.
like you don't do it.
Yeah.
So we went around and bushwhacked and all that. But then we get to the trail system. It's not that good. So we left the truck at maybe 10 a.m. thinking it was going to take us to get to camp till 2. Well, 2 ends up turning into 4:30. So my logistics king part of me is like, we're a little bit behind. We have to scout tonight because I have no idea what the hell we're doing. And tomorrow morning's the opener. And I've never been up here. I don't know what's happening. Where are we going to be in the morning? My head is going. My plan is a little bit derailed right now. So we get up to camp and it's like everyone's trying to get settled, and I was trying to be I didn't want to lose
He
my
was
cool
getting a
there.
little worked up. Because he's
turning
behind
into Porter.
schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Behind schedule. So I'm like, put down the packs. We're going to scout. But, you want to set up camp while you can in daylight or whatever. So we ended up saying, hey, Scott, if you don't mind, or I did. I said, hey, Scott, do you mind being the camp?
I think
Camp
we
chores
set
guy.
tents. We set
We
tents.
said tents, you're right.
But we put Scotty on water and firewood.
Water and firewood. Because we were going to have, like, I think the low was like 18 that night. It was pretty chilly.
It was going to get down.
So we wanted to get firewood and all that stuff and just get situated. You know how it is when you get to camp. So it's like, it's like 5, and I think it's pitch black at 6:15. So it's like we had prime time, but we had to book it. So it's like, hey, we're going hard to that knob right there. Scott, can you get this organized if you don't mind? We get up to this knob. So now it's like 5:30. It's prime time, but we only have about 40 minutes of daylight. We have been in this unit now for 3 full days, right? Like, we've been hunting now. It hasn't opened, but it feels like we've been hunting quite a bit. We have not seen an elk
Or heard one.
or heard one. And then what happened?
We were about 3/4 of the way up to the knob, and we heard a bugle, and both of us, our eyes just went like this. We just got all giant. We're like, oh, shit, they're all right. Because the whole way in, all afternoon, it's thicker than hell. So you can't see anything. You can't see anything. There's no tracks. There's no nothing. And so, this is 3.5 days of, elk don't exist. I think I sent Brando a text that night. I'm like, there's elk in Colorado, right? Just joking around. Yeah, so we heard that bugle, and so we immediately just ran to the knob because we still can't see anything.
Yeah,
I've never felt that claustrophobic. And finally we got up on the knob, and that whole basin was filled with them. 20 bulls.
What? 20 bulls, 1 cow. Middle of October. It's the younger bulls, but they are screaming their faces off. There was that one we never ended up seeing down at the bottom, but that one at the top, we see him, and then all of a sudden there's 18 bulls that feed out from the top with a lonely cow, and they are screaming and fighting, and so we're high-fiving. We're like, we're in the elk. Holy cow, this is great. We're on a high.
Yeah.
And these bulls literally come down, and then about halfway down, we're like, they kind of seem to be headed towards camp. We're like, oh no, they're headed right to camp. And they're like, oh yeah, we did camp on water, right?
So just to clean that up for those that are listening.
Fact checker again.
Not completely on water. We were in between 2 water holes, and we were in a saddle, kind of in between where 2 saddles met. So we were kind of in this little triangle of hope here. And when we first got in there, I'm looking around. There's still snow on the ground because it snowed 2 days before we got up there, and I'm seeing elk tracks, but there's nothing that's telling me these are this week, but fresher than anything we've seen yet. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't like anything has been through here recently. So it didn't even dawn on me, maybe this is their little pathway, So we set camp, and for 30 minutes up there, we're watching these idiots chase each other around and butt heads and scream their faces off. And the whole thing, and I think I said it, on film, I was like, holy shit, they're going to camp. And the whole herd of them, the whole flock, it just looked like the whole mountain was moving that direction. I'm going, well, Scott's going to have visitors. And he did. They went right into camp.
Really?
They go right into him about 50 yards, and they start screaming at him. He says he's doing firewood, and he's like, surrounded by bulls. He's like, I've never seen it. I didn't know what to do. He's like, I didn't know if I was supposed to get ready to protect myself. Or he's like, they're screaming their faces off. And so he had quite a bit of excitement. We come back to camp. He's like, did you guys see the elk? And we're like, yeah, how was it up close and personal? But there's water everywhere up there. Mm-hmm. Looking back, we should have camped. You don't know what you don't know. We should have camped just on the other side off the saddle, but
yeah,
they ran water everywhere.
Yeah, they ran over that saddle too.
Yeah, we're gonna run into it no matter what.
There was water in the basin they were in. Just dumb luck, I guess.
That was just their water hole for the night. That was the one
Yeah,
they were
Just
going to
that
hit.
night,
Yeah, that was just
There's
the
no
one they
way
were
to
gonna hit.
not camp that would have avoided them entirely. But
We were a little bit worried because we weren't sure what they were going to do after that. Only because there was one shooter bull in there. And I still don't know where they went. We never saw them again.
no, well, that's the bulls. No, some of those are the bulls we bumped the next day, midday when we were going up to the top.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
They never did come back onto our side. Once they went over, because they literally just went around Scott like that.
Oh, wow.
Once they went over, they never came back. We never saw them again. Well, we saw them the next day, but I mean, not in our little basin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you end the day on a high note.
Super high note. We're at camp, fire, eating good. Obviously, have all your fresh food and supplies, and yeah, we're exhausted from the hiking, but we're feeling really good.
And it dropped in temperature too. It got cold, and we cranked that fire up and ate food. Yeah, we had a great night.
Next morning,
It's basically Christmas morning, opening day.
oh,
Yeah.
It's better than Christmas.
orange goes on for the first time. Rifle comes off the backpack, dusted off, getting, I sleep with it right next to me.
Smart.
My little
tip.
vestibule area, and going up to our knob that we were at the night before.
Scotty's knob, by the way.
It ended up
for those
becoming
that-
Scotty's knob because Scott spent a lot of time there. Go up to the knob, pretty much see elk right away, and see a shooter bull. Like we're looking to set the stage too. We're looking for a good bull. Like we're not just trying to shoot the first thing we see. We're trying to hunt a good quality old bull. But there was one right away. What did we end up calling him? Golden
He was
Whale tail or
golden
something?
whale.
golden whale because
He had a
giant back
beautiful
end.
whale tail. Yeah, but there was 13 or 14 new bulls
New bulls.
in that canyon. We averaged 11 new bulls a day in that canyon. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Bulls. I mean, we saw I think we saw a total of 3 cows throughout the duration. Weird.
I had my 10s on my tripod. Him and I were just on money, and I'm going, hey, good bull, looks like a good bull, and then he's on the spotter, just figuring out if it's a shooter bull, and just going boom, boom, and all morning long it's like, hey Nate, have you checked this one yet? All right, check that one real quick, and then we're just talking the whole time, and we turn up an hour in, we turn up the shooter bull.
So the shooter bull, we at this point we haven't figured out exactly where we can shoot from or where we can make an attack or anything like that. And he's across the draw from us, up on his side of the ridge towards the top end, and he's just feeding. They're all just feeding along there, and these guys weren't all fired up like they were the night before. So the only thing we can do to cut distance, which we needed to do, was drop an elevation. But in a thick burn like that, you do that, you're hosed. So we dropped as far as we could to cut distance. We still couldn't get as close as we wanted, but by that time he finally fed just over the rise from us. So the only way to see him is to go back up. He fed over the top, and he stayed put in there all day. And we finally devised a plan to run up behind camp. We didn't really have a plan. We just wanted to see what it looked like. So we left. I think we came back. We did camp chores, got water, all that stuff. Porter and I went up behind camp just to check off the backside, see what we could see, and that's where we ran into the bulls from the night before. And we didn't see much when we were over there. We ended up coming back to camp to run up because Scotty went back up to Scotty's knob. And as we're getting 3/4 of the way back up to Scotty's knob that first afternoon, you can see Scotty just doing this. So I hauled ass up to the top, and he goes, he's back. I went, really? He goes, yeah. And he says, he's by himself. So I got on the spotter and verified it was him. And he was in a beautiful little spot. Such a lovely place. And he was on the same ridge, same area he was that morning, but he was just off the top by himself, completely alone. Now, we didn't see any of the other bulls that day. They were probably still on the other side, but he was just hanging out in that little pocket feeding. And it was 4:30. We had about an hour left, and Scotty, we thought, well, if we run all the way around and get on his side, there's a little rock pile right there, and we might have a chance. We don't know what it looks like over there, but that's our only play. And we talked about it. We said, you think we can get over there in an hour? I said, hell yeah, we can get over there in an hour. So
this is after just being. So we left camp at 2, took our time. At 3:30, got up to that rock cropping, couldn't see anything. came all the way back to Scotty's Knob. So now it's 4:30, and then it's basically like right back where we were and a little further in. So it was like it was a giant loop, but we hauled.
I think we made it just under an hour. And we got to the rock pile, and I knew we were within a couple hundred yards of him. So we dropped our packs right there because I figured this was going to be super up close and personal. And we peeked our head over the rock pile, and there's just enough of a wave in that hillside to where he wasn't in that first pocket. He was in the second one. And so, which sucks because now we got to get closer, and we're already close. It's dead quiet, not a breath of wind, nothing. So we snuck our way over to that next little rise, and we're all just kind of slowly looking and peeking. And it's the thickest lodgepole stuff I've ever seen. And I figured in my head, I'm like, okay, chances are he's going to see us, hear us, or smell us, and he's gone. I mean, that 90-10, right? And I'm thinking, there's a small chance that we see him first. And I just took a couple steps, and I stopped, and I looked, and I saw about a 12-inch by 12-inch patch of hair. And I went, oh, my God, I found him. And then I took about a 6-inch step to my right, and that opened up the lane. And so I told Porter, I'm like, he's right here, dude. And so he couldn't see him because he's standing right here, and I put him right in front of me, and that's the lane you got. And, yeah, we'll take it from here.
So this is the first stalk we've done. This is the first time I've ever hunted in the timber, right? I'm not an archery guy. Like, this is the first time I've been in the timber. I'm used to rifle. You're a little farther away, and you can see.
Yep.
First time ever hunting in the timber. And I'm like, and he's right. Like, you can't see him if you're here. You can see him if you're here. I mean, 6 inches of moving your head, and you see him. And I'm like, so I got him in the binos, and I'm like, Jesus. So in my head, it's day one. This is the bull we want for sure. I love this bull, man. This even saying the story kind of haunts me. And I go up with my rifle scope, and there is literally, so it's 142 yards. It's a tree, his body, and a tree in the scope, which I've never seen before in my life. I'm like, oh my God. All right. So in my head, so in his head, he's thinking of smarter things than me. In my head, I'm thinking, don't F this up. It's day one. You have a for sure shooter bull, by far the best bull you've turned up. Don't F this up. And it's like 5 o'clock. We have like an hour of daylight. We are good. Maybe 5:15. I mean, there's plenty of daylight. Mm-hmm. So it's like, take your time. And I'm not thinking of wind, which is my big mistake. So that's a rifle guy though. It's not top of mind, but when you're an archery guy and you're hunting in those waves, like you guys are saying, that's a little bit of topography. It just takes a little bit of scent to find that bottom and then kind of feed the saddle right to him. It's like that wind is just going to kind of shift and then hit that saddle and go right to him. It's a huge learning for me. So then I go up and I got my rifle. Of course, rifle guy, you're you're normally like prone, got your, really stable. And you take your time in your shot because once you let one off, and if it's not a good shot, that's a problem and you might not ever get another shot, right? So it's like slower and methodical. So I go up this on a tree and I'm like, this is doable, but not ideal.
You're leaning against a tree, like
I'm
putting the
leaning
rifle
against
against
the
it?
tree. Yeah. Standing up.
Yep.
So I'm like, not horrible, but I can do better. Don't screw this up. I look
And I'm
and
doing this. I'm expecting him to shoot,
5 yards ahead, there's this nice, like, flat rock. So I'm like, I'm just going to go right there. I'm going to set my gun down and get prone. Right? I go do that. I set it up. I get him in the thing. And he's like, he's up. I'm like, what do you mean he's up? Like, I'm just getting set up. And it takes a second to turn him back up in the timber. And he's going, he's up. So then I stand up. I get him in the scope for a split second. And he darts. I'm like, what the heck just happened? He was bedded. But by the way, we didn't even say this. He was bedded and he was facing away.
Oh my gosh, perfect scenario.
I mean, that's exactly that. The whole time I'm like, perfect
you
scenario.
think you have time, yeah.
Day one, slow the F down, Chris. And
you don't have to force it.
Don't force this.
Bedded, looking away.
Best bull. Don't screw this up. And I'm like, what just happened? He's like, he winded us. And I'm like, oh, I forgot. The whole time I forgot we're only 142 yards away.
And the trippy part too is he was standing almost the entire time when he was trying to get in position. but I didn't have a way to tell him that because we're so close. I can't say, hey, he's up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to get his attention, and of course, not being able to make any sounds, and he's not looking at me. I look like an idiot up there. But anyways, I finally got his attention. I'm like, dude, he's up. And the bitching part was he was laying with a kill shot because everything that we could see of him laying down, killable. Ooh. When he stood perfectly, and that entire front shoulder was in that same window. But I couldn't get away. I couldn't have a way to tell him soon enough, But it was both of us were after that, watched him whirl around.
And this was Golden Royal?
We call him
Golden Whale.
Golden Whale.
A giant back end. His back end, 90 degrees, just spread.
Mm.
Yeah, it was
And
pretty.
up close, I don't know how good a footage little Nate got, but like giant front end, thick bull. I mean, just a real old stud bull. Yeah. Like just a big old body.
Is the bull in snow? So he's really easy to see?
Yeah. That particular face was the whatever, not the leeward side. That has to do with wind. But it's the non-sunny side, whatever.
North facing?
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
The sun's setting in the west, so it's could be an east-facing slope. That's what I'm kind of thinking, too.
I think we were more facing east, northeast.
Yeah.
But yes, it was a shady side.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
It was where they all like
east,
did
northeast,
the whole week. We ended up seeing them, but
yeah, everything. What was goofy about the night before is all them bulls were sitting there screaming and fighting, and you could tell just obviously with that one cow and no other cow in sight, they were definitely coming off the rut. But the way that this dude acted all day was pure, like he was done. Like rut's done. He goes, I'm heading into my little hole by himself, just doing old post-rut bull things. And,
super late season bull acting, like so low. We saw a couple that way. All the big bulls were that way. Like just acted so different than the other one. The other one's like the teenagers.
So I want to spend a little more time on this. So you whirled, then gone.
So, yeah, and then we go up to the little ridge. It's so thick. It's like, good luck.
You could see patches going away, but he didn't take off in a full-blown sprint, but just I was telling him and Scotty, just the way that he acted that day and the way that he came back and chilled out by himself, I said, we won't see him again.
So what kind of then like learnings or takeaways did you have from that encounter? Did you then think like, could you have taken the shot standing up early before you crawled in? Did you like know it was
that we talked about it the whole week. Well, first of all, I was the lowest of the low.
Yeah, oh yeah.
For that was depressing.
Yeah, you're deflated.
I was walking back to camp. What's it, 2 miles back to camp?
That was
just a depressing walk back to camp. That was the lowest point of the hunt. I was so mad at myself screwing that up. It was like the perfect layup. It is so hard to spot them in the timber that close. He picked them up, which is hard enough, and then so yeah, it was first was depressed, and then it was like, okay, how do I learn from that? And we talked about it the rest of the week. Like if this encounter had happened on day 2, day 3, day 4, just after a couple times in the timber, dead bull, 100%. It's 142 yards. I don't need to be down prone. It's 142 yards with a rifle. As you know, we practice all the time from really long distances. That's a chip shot.
Yeah.
I don't need to be laying down. I don't need to be prone. I can be up against the tree and just smack him.
Yeah.
And the way he was bedded even makes it worse, like pure vitals. Like you get one in him, he's not getting up.
Shot placement wasn't a thing with that shot. It was
stunned.
And you suddenly felt comfortable too
you were
with the
either
rifle.
hitting tree or vital. One of the two.
So I would absolutely have acted way faster, not taking my time. Of course, hindsight's 20/20, but 100% big learning. Timber. After a couple days in the timber, you get the hang of it. Like it's like that was my first experience in the timber. So it was like, what's going on? And again, you go up with the rifle scope and you have tree, brown hair, tree. You're like, that's not a view you normally.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of it too as like, what are the ways we could practice in the off season to make that more comfortable of a situation for you? Like, have you ever tried to put a rifle against a tree and take a shot before?
Standing up, we were talking with Scott the other day, like standing up shots. I'm going to practice this off season. Up against a pole at the range, I'm going to practice. Like all that stuff, I'm going to practice. That was for sure a huge learning.
You know what I was thinking about when we were talking about, because to me that's almost second nature, but I've been in that scenario numerous times. But I think like myself personally, like as kids, I'm used to quick reaction, or I'm used to either thinking outside the box, but it's coyotes or rabbits or squirrels, something where it's fast, and you have to take unorthodox shots. And obviously with coyotes and rabbits and stuff like that, you don't care.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you whiff one, who cares? But doing it enough, especially growing up for so long, to me, it's not that big of a deal. But somebody that's never had to play that game before, yeah, it's completely new. Mm-hmm. So in my head, as this is all going down, in my head, I'm like, just shoot. And we talked about it afterwards, and he's like, dude, he goes, if you're thinking it, just say it. And I went, okay, cool.
Right.
So,
yeah,
Oh.
That's the other side of that too. Is it's amazing how easily and quickly being lackadaisical can affect something. Like you got a little bit. It was perfect setup, right?
Yeah.
So you let yourself get a little, like you just dropped the kill mode just enough to like, oh no, let me think this through. So you're kind of like you drop the kill mode.
Yeah.
Instead of keeping it as you're making your way to that rock.
Well, I've made mistakes the polar opposite, where you rush it, or you don't chill out with your breathing. Like the deer's not going anywhere. You have a full minute or two to get the shot off.
Don't rush
Chill
it.
out.
Yeah.
Right. So I've made mistakes that way. So this way, it's the opposite. I need to be in absolute
Yeah, the
kill
perfect scenario can make you lackadaisical. Where you're
100%.
just like, let me over the what is it? What does Trail say? Paralysis by analysis.
mode. Yeah.
It's like, no, you still got to keep that kill mode in
Oh
you.
God! And it was the biggest bull we saw all week, which is like the biggest stinger. It's like, can't that be day 3?
No.
we
No, it can't
never
be.
saw that bull again. Of course, that bull hadn't been disturbed, and now looking back, we know we bumped him to a different canyon. He was smart. He was in smart bull mode. He was not in rut mode, and he was like, I don't know what that is. I haven't seen something like that in probably a couple of years. I mean, no one had been up there hunting.
Mm-hmm.
We had the place to ourselves.
Oh,
Stings, man. Still stings.
it was
Yeah.
a bummer.
this is the worst hikes back to camp.
That night, that night you had to have been a little bit like juiced up though, knowing that you saw a great, but not even a good bull, a great bull.
No, I was very depressed.
Really?
That
even though you
night-
saw bulls.
Well, we had enjoyed, because Friday night and then pretty much all day Saturday until the very end, we were on cloud 9. We were in action. So yeah, it was a high. You know me though, I am a little bit of a roller coaster at times. Like that was just a real low.
That was a swing. Yeah.
Everybody's really chuckling on that one.
Yeah, we just know you for it.
No, I was pretty damn down. Now next morning it was like game on, let's go, and I'm gonna learn from that and go. So, I mean,
Yeah.
we were back in kill mode the first thing next morning, but that night sucked.
The thing that had us going too was, in my head, I figured we're not going to see him again. But that's 2 days in a row on the same knob with new bulls. So that was the driving factor of, all right, we're not out of it. We might not see him, but we're not out. So
And I've had plenty of hunts where you bump him and you see him again. So I was slightly more optimistic. I mean, late season. I mean, he ended up, of course, being right. But I've seen we've all had it where you bump something hard and you turn him up again, maybe a different part of the canyon or whatever. So I hadn't lost complete hope, but yeah, no, we never saw him again. But then, the morning of day 2, it's like the same thing.
same thing.
Action.
New bulls.
New bulls
Action
again.
New bulls. Was day 2? Day 2 was bean bull, right?
Day 2 is a beam bull.
Bean bull. It's like this.
Similar score wise, just beautiful. Longer beams, just longer kind of everywhere. Didn't have the flash of Mr. Goldie, but beautiful bull. And he, no kidding, did the same thing that the whale did. Bedded in the same spot. So we thought, well, we know this playbook.
Well, we first were up there, and it's pretty much the same hillside. About 45 minutes in daylight. It was like deja vu, and it was like Nate, I think I got our bull. And for a second we're like, we got him because just big bull. There's just way bigger than the other bulls, right? And he's like, wait, this one's different. Shooter bowl, but different, right? And he's like, we called him Mr. Bean Bowl. He's just real long and big old main beams and not as heavy and might have scored bigger, but just different looking.
Different.
And then, so it's like deja vu, right? It's like,
Yeah.
Well, let's go do it again.
My gosh.
That's a good spot to be in.
It was the weirdest place. Like, I've never been in a pocket like that where, you get something new every day. And yeah. So anyways, we put a play on him. We did the same thing. But he fed down. He got up and he fed down underneath us, which screwed us because now we can't see.
Yeah.
So we pulled out. As we're pulling out, there was 2 mule deer does hanging out in that basin.
Love them.
And I got some story about those.
Love them.
I do too, but these 2 in particular were real a-holes.
Oh, they were the opposite.
Yes. These 2, we didn't see them. Scotty saw all of this, but we apparently...
So hold on, just so they know, like every bull we had seen was feeding down towards the water in the evening and up away from the water in the mornings, right? So we see him on the same hillside. We're thinking he's going to bed up in that stuff. We didn't want to wait till the evening to go on stock. We're ready for some action. So we go hike again the same route. So now this is like the 3rd or 4th time we've done this loop, and it's only like day 2 of the hunt. We loop up on there. We're thinking same thing that's going to happen last night. Not screwing this one up. That kill mode.
Yeah.
That stock, buddy.
Kill mode the whole way.
Dude, focused as heck. And we get over there and we're like, we don't turn him up. Go back to the knob. And Scotty's like, and that's when Scotty said,
Yeah, he fed down and he bedded on the water underneath us. And we, at some point, we didn't see it, had kicked up 2 mule deer does. And they went running down right next to him, jumped him up, and he hauled butt out of the canyon.
and if they didn't do that, there's a decent chance we could have shot him from the knob because he went to the bottom of the canyon. We might have been able to turn him up. If not, we could have definitely put a play on him so that we were killing him that night. Like he bedded in a good spot actually,
He actually really did.
but then bumped out of that spot.
Yep. Never saw him again.
What was the evening of day 2?
Some scragglers fed over,
Yeah.
but we never did anything with them.
That was another high to low. That's that day 2 morning. We're like, we got this.
Time to make up.
Yeah, we are on this. And then it's like, what the heck? And then we're still pretty high going in the evening because we're thinking we're going to turn him up again. And then we didn't turn him up. And then the second evening was like,
Just a bunch of rags.
yeah.
So what's Scotty doing during the day?
He's on Scotty's knob.
On that
Just on the-
knob.
That's why is his knob.
Yeah.
On that knob. The next morning, anyone want to take a guess?
New bulls.
New bulls. New bulls. And that's where Jeffrey came into play.
Jeffrey.
I don't know where he got that name from, but he was a real you-know-what. and
That's
he
why we
just-
called him Jeffrey.
Yeah, he just deserved it.
Most people named Jeffrey are, well, I don't know.
All them bulls,
Probably some Jeffreys out there.
all them bulls were doing the same thing. They were coming from the same direction, through the same saddle, feeding into the same basin. Everything was weird. So, anyways, new group of bulls. And we must have picked through those bulls for at least 45 minutes before we realized that he was in them.
Oh, yeah.
And he was just same caliber as the 2 bulls we previously were interested in. A little different than both of them, but just same caliber. But he had kind of a persona about him. You know, he was just fighting them other dudes and just continued to fight with those other guys and was just kind of a jerk, you know?
He'd kick him out of their bed.
Yeah.
And then wouldn't even sit in their bed. He would just go kick the bulls
He'd kick him out of the
their
bed, and then he'd go and make his own bed, you know, just to do it. You know, just kind of one of them.
Yeah.
So then, you know, he ended up feeding down into the basin, down towards the water. So when we seen him do that, we thought, okay, we're going to sit on him. If we can shoot from this knob, we're going to sit on him. And if he does, like some of the other bulls, because that's right, the night before, those other bulls fed up underneath us through the saddle. So we figured these guys are doing the same thing the bulls from the night before did. If they do, they're going to come right to us. And that was cool because from that knob, all that did was obviously cut distance, but it got a lot more open from the water to us. So we might have had a window. So yeah, our plan that day was just sit on him and wait for him to get closer. And if he gave us a window, we were going to take a shot.
We almost forced a couple long bombs. Remember, we got the rifle set up like 10 a.m. before he fully was bedded.
I sat on that dude for 12 hours.
Oh, God.
Oh,
But then we're like, he's going to bed and he's going to feed closer, so let's not take the long shot.
And when, yeah.
And then he gets, so all day, yeah, he beds there from what, 10 a.m. to like 3 p.m. So we're up on this knob. At this point, the weather's changed. It's pretty damn hot. We run out of food. We run out of water. You know how it is when you get worn out. It's like you're looking at the clock. You're like, it's only 2.
At 10,000 plus, too, that sun
Oh.
beats on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're getting baked. He finally stands up. I got the rifle set up all day on this perfect. Remember that? There was like a rock, which
Yeah.
was like the rest. It was like
it's a money
confidence
position.
was through the roof.
Yeah.
We're now on day 3. We're looking for some action.
And
You know,
you're-
we've gotten really close.
Your gun, too, remember? We had to Jimmy rig your comb.
This, I forgot
What is
about that.
this?
This was a learning moment.
What is this?
We also talk about context. So this was a learning moment for sure. They, what's that called? The
Comb, cheek piece.
cheek piece. At some point, the bolt had popped off, so it went all the way down.
Oh, the knob on the cheek piece came
Yeah.
loose?
So you normally, like I have a space like that.
Yeah.
It's flush. So I get for this practice shot on this day 3 on this knob. I'm trying to get comfortable with the scope, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? I look down. There's no bolt, and the things went down. So we're like, oh shit, what do we do? No one had a bolt or anything like that. So I'm putting like my Leatherman in it. I'm putting a bunch of sticks in it, trying to get this cheek. It's actually super uncomfortable to shoot. I mean, think about it. It's like your eye's gonna be, you got to like go like that. So it's actually pretty shitty. So Jimmy rigged a bunch of sticks in it, right?
Sticks. Yeah. Shove some sticks in there to keep it raised.
That
for him.
sucked. I don't know if I'll bring an extra bolt or what, but I will think about that again.
Yeah,
That
so,
was-
so basically you're taking like sticks and put them horizontal down the length of the stock in that spacer to take up the spacer space.
correct.
Yeah, and just, if that screw completely came out,
Yeah.
Yep.
Popped off.
pop and is out there somewhere.
Yeah.
It's an artifact now.
That was shitty.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah, that hurts. Because okay, you can't just lay down on those stocks without it being in that same spot it was, because you have 20 MOA rail and you have a big scope on there.
Totally. Like that little bolt ended up.
Being a big deal.
Yeah. Just wished there was a Home Depot close by.
We were looking at our tripods, thinking, okay, are any of these going to fit?
Yeah.
Can we spare a bolt from somewhere? Yeah, we couldn't find one. So sticks worked, or worked enough to at least, change
Yeah,
the
yeah,
head that, oh, we're good now. But no, we got set up and ready, and then it was a waiting game, a long waiting game. And then he'd move and he'd bed, and then, you'd sit there and you'd lose him in the thick stuff that he bedded, and then, it was battle all day. Finally he gets up. And the rest of them guys, when they
Nate was on the spotter, so I interrupt all day. Props to Big Nate over here. Like literally,
I didn't want to lose this ball.
just
Yeah,
just
I don't
all
blame
day.
Is
And
he
you know,
one-eyed or
your
you got the
eyes-
BTX?
No, he had one eye. He's just sitting there like this on the knob. It was real rocky knob, so your butts are hurting. I mean, it was
I
uncomfortable.
got up and stretched a little bit, but I didn't, fiddle fart around.
But go ahead. He got up.
Those other bulls previously took a lot of time to move from the water through us, mostly afternoon. This guy's not getting up, and he didn't get up until 3:30 or closer to 4, because when he got up, they all beelined it. And so they're moving. So I finally got Porter, and I said, dude, they're moving. We need to get on him and at least track him. We need to be ready for if he stops. And that's another scenario, too, I don't think that you've been privy to before.
He got up. Yeah, he got up at like 900 yards, and he's feeding. Well, it started off slow.
Start off slow, then they
Slowed
picked
it. He was slow, and all the bulls were slow. They're all just enjoying, and he's going 900, 850. So I'm like, got the rifle set up. I'm on my knees. I'm like ranging. We are pretty confident right now. There is a shot that's about to get slung, and then about 750, the pace starts getting very fast out of nowhere,
Oh, they start moving quicker.
real quick.
and he's not alone, and they keep changing spots, and it's just, yeah. So finally, we realized that we need to be on the gun and we need to be following these guys. But now it's that time of day where the sun is right there. We are facing dead west, and he jumped down in the gun. He couldn't see anything, and I'm still in the mode of like, these guys are not giving us time. Get in the gun because we need to make it work one way or another, or we're screwed. So I told Scotty, I said, Scott, you got him? He says, yep. So I jumped down, did the old, take your hat off kind of thing. And you were able to see, not great, but I mean, you were able to see, but.
It was the distance it took from 900 yards or 950 when they stood up to 750 was like an hour. And then from 750 to like 500 was literally 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they want to cover country, they'll cover it.
Their
Yeah,
pace
when they
just
decide.
completely changed. So then it's like we're on the gun. We're go time. We're on the gun at like 650, but then there's the sun issue, and then so from 60 to 500, it's panic because so then he was awesome. He's got the sun or the hat out there to try to block the sun. I could make out like hide. I mean, have you ever looked through a scope like
Yeah,
dead in the
sun-washed
sun?
scope. Yeah, the sun-washed is
Oh
terrible.
my gosh.
It yellows
is
everything out, and it's- yeah.
insane. So I could make out a body, but I don't know. There's 5 bulls.
Yeah.
And you don't know what bull, and a couple of them were dinks. Like I don't know what bull's in the scope, and they're moving like this. And so I'm like, the sun's going like this. So then it's like, dude, just 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes. And so it's like this, 5 more minutes, and then sun finally goes down, and they're in the thick stuff.
They came in right
And
underneath
it's
us.
like, are you kidding me? We've been up here all day getting sunburned. In my head, it was like, we didn't really talk about it, but in my head, it was like 99% there is something getting shot tonight off this knob.
Gosh.
Like, we have these bulls. There was a couple others we probably would have shot too. Like, there's lead getting flung, right? Like, it's like we're 100% in kill mode all day, just sitting there. And then it all just turns south so fast at the
Very fast. And I was in the same boat. I figured, I was confident lead was going downrange at a fast pace. But once they got underneath us, now we're on the clock for the sun, right? We only got X
For
amount of
dark.
daylight.
Yeah.
So the only thing I could think of was the bulls the night before came across the saddle. So these guys are going to do the same. They're either going to come across the saddle or go right through camp again. So there was a knob below us. And I said, let's hightail it down to the knob, and maybe we can see down in there. We get down to the knob. We can see 3 or 4 of the bulls in the group, but we couldn't see him. And then all of a sudden, they start fighting down there. Well, we can see all the other bulls, and they're not fighting, so it's got to be Jeffrey and this other guy fighting. And now we're down to minutes, and we're a couple hundred yards from them. So I told Porter, I said, screw it. I said, let's go right at them. They can't hear us. And there wasn't much wind to speak of, but I figured that's their only shot.
Yeah.
So him and I went right down at them, and we got to probably 200 yards or closer, and everything went silent. They quit fighting. And I look over to my left, and one of them other bulls has us pegged, and I went, oh no. And so I whistled at him, or I snapped at him, and I told him. He stopped, and him and I got together so we could talk. And I saw Jeffrey. I saw his butt down there about 1:30, and then I saw another bull over here that was looking right at us. I'm going, dude, we're screwed, because now it's a waiting game, and we will lose this battle all day long. And sure enough, the sun literally went down on us. Nobody moved. We didn't move. They didn't move. We only had Jeffrey's butt to shoot at. So,
And the gun is on the tree. So we have, at this point, we have learned some lessons, right? So the gun, I'm like on the gun. He's talking to me. I got one, like, waiting for Jeffrey to just move into this opening, right? The 2 had gone past the opening. My gun's like here. If Jeffrey just goes follows the other 2, he's dead as a door now. So I'm just like this.
Oh.
and everybody froze. And I'm like, oh. So 3 days in a row of this, right?
About as close as it could ever be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that from the low knob to go get our stuff, because we were in kill mode. We had no packs or anything.
No packs, no lights, no headlamps, no nothing.
Yeah. So that little hike, it was like, whatever, 20 or 30 minutes. But that from the little knob back up to the big knob that we were on all day. That was probably equal low.
And of course,
That might have been lower than day one because we had been, when you're on a
Yeah.
knob all day,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
and then it doesn't happen at all that you think it's gonna happen that night. It is
Hmm.
the worst.
and of course, when you start on one knob and then you end all the way down here, and you have multiple stops in between, there's shit scattered all the way up.
Oh,
the hill.
yeah. Yard sale.
Yard sale.
You need to
Oh.
put the sun ring on your scope.
Yeah, you don't have a sunshade?
No, just a cap.
Oh, yeah.
You
we
need a
should
sunshade.
put that on there. That's one of the reasons why I always have one.
Yeah.
It's another learning. That and the bolt thing were big learnings on that.
Hmm.
I practiced a lot on those longer distances. Like I would have. I mean, I had a rock as a back
Yeah, you had a
rest.
good
like,
rest. You had everything. You really get comfortable
we had
and be
all
comfortable.
day. I'm like looking at it. I mean, I was like playing around in the scope all day up there, like getting used to certain things. And then I don't know why I didn't think of the sun, but like you couldn't have been more direct.
Yeah,
like,
it's hard.
It's
And that's
literally
the only
like
knob
it's
you
setting like this, and the hillsides. I mean, it couldn't have been more direct.
I didn't think about it either until he found another gear and decided to cover ground. And that's when I'm like, because we even talked about it, we're like, it's all right, sun will go, sun will go down, no big deal. And then he shifted gears, and I'm like, yeah, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, if he just maintains his pace, sun goes down, he's at 600, and he's going to 500. We still got plenty of daylight, and I mean, he's just smoked. He
Yep.
could have got to 400 before it got too thick.
But he
From that
went-
4 to
he went.
500 with the rock as the rest and practiced all day. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just done.
So Dave,
That was low.
that was
That night
that was 3 days of getting kicked in the you know what.
we were so
Kicked in the dick.
Yeah. Yeah. Day four. Day 4 was the first day we saw the same bulls. We also saw new bulls. We went back to Scotty's Knob.
Do you have a name for these bulls again? In this
No,
individual?
so far, yeah, because the others just didn't meet the caliber. And they were just little dinker-doos. There was a couple, throughout the week, there was a couple 300 bulls. There was a couple sub 300 6 points. And then there was your dinkies. But anyways, so new bulls. And it was, I think you found him. So when we left Jeffrey the night before, we all waited till dark, and they went their way, we went our way. They went through camp and up behind camp and bedded in the timber behind camp. So the next morning, he found them just off on the open face above camp. And he was with the same group of bulls. I'm like, you little bastard, Because where he's at, good luck. And the younger, smaller bulls did their thing in the basin, kind of the same routine as the 2 previous days. So at this point, we thought, well, what do we got to lose now?
we're definitely in kill mode, definitely aggressive mode.
Yeah.
Bars softened a little bit, right? It's day 4.
Mm-hmm.
The 5-day hunts, man, I love them and hate them at the same time. Like it's
tough.
Jeffrey worked.
if this is a 9-day hunt, it's so different.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to be in action every day. You're running out of time, but
Jeffrey ended up working around a rock pile that we'd been to before, and it kind of gave us. We did sit on that rock pile once before, so we knew we could see a little. He worked around it and he bedded in some thick stuff past it, so we thought we might have a shot if we can get to that rock pile up there and maybe see whatever, but we got to do something. So that was the plan. And as we worked up to that rock pile, that smaller group of bulls went right up to the rock pile, right underneath us. And even at that rock pile, you've got 80 yards max. So at 80 yards, there's pieces of bulls everywhere underneath us. And we knew there was a couple 6 points. And at this point, standards might have dropped a smidge. And I think it might have been a little frustration where he wanted to kill something.
Yeah.
And we all kind of did at this point. Like, Jeffrey kind of pissed us off a little bit. So, I was all on board for something dying. But the only thing that we had a shot on was a little spike. that was laying down because they all came up to us and then fed right underneath us. And he was gonna kill something in this group. So he said, find one of the 6 points. So me and the camera guy, we don't have much room to work up there, and so of course we're so close. We're trying to find something, and I caught a royal, a 5th, and a 6th, and I go, I got one. He goes, is he a good 6 point? I said, well, one side is a 6 point. That's all I know. He goes, okay, we got him on him. So he's laying down on the gun and on him, and I've got his front shoulder and his neck and the back end of one of his tines. So we've got a kill shot. And he goes, is he a 6 on both sides? And I said, I don't know. And we sat there for 10 minutes. Finally, he turned his head, and I said, well, he's broke after the royal on his other side. He goes, you sure? And I said, yeah. And there was actually a moment where he was going to kill him before I told him that. And he goes, okay, I'm going to kill this bull. And I'm trying to talk him out of it real hard because he's not that great of a bull. Mm-hmm. And he finally turns to me, and I'm like, dude, we've had this in our heads all week, and I know what you've killed before. I know you're upset and you want to kill something. We all are. But there's a high possibility you're going to walk up on this bull and, maybe not be very thrilled. And he's like, yeah, you're right. That's a good point. I said, plus he's busted behind his royal on the other side. He goes, okay, well, I'm not shooting. Then he gets off the gun.
That was still a fun encounter. Like that was by far where we were most dialed. Because
Was Jeffrey in that though? He was.
no,
he was not in that.
He was in a different group. But we couldn't really move because there was like 15 bulls below us. So now we're like surrounded by like younger bulls.
Gotcha.
We can't really get to Jeffrey without blowing out the whole canyon, and we'd already been in the canyon a bit. So it was like we were pinned down, but we're up on this rock pile, 80 yards, and you can barely make. Like you're in your binos at 80 yards. Like a bull elk, you should be able to see with the naked eye, right? But it's
Bet
so
you guys
thick.
didn't have the SIG stabilized binos, did you?
No, I didn't.
Because you would have picked up everything immediately.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm telling you, you would have.
And stuff like that. I
Yeah,
can see
it's
that.
true. But the three of us are finally, right? It's day 4. We have gone in some stocks now. We finally figured out this timber shit.
Yeah.
And we're like, all right, I got a young one there. We're like there's 3 of us like this, but we're all seeing different things by just being 6 inches away from each other, talking, being super quiet, watching the wind. Like it felt like a very productive situation. Very, like we knew what was up. And yeah, I have like this perfect little window in my scope. I got the raghorn. And I'm looking at the 6 point behind the raghorn. But I mean, at this point, I didn't want to shoot like a young bull. Like I wasn't being like crazy picky, but I didn't want to shoot some like young bull,
Right.
Old broken, unique bull or something like that was dead. But I didn't want to shoot something like real young and.
Yeah, 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 6 point. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
4-year-old.
And part of like if you eat more tags if you do that, but that's just like it is what it is. Like, and we're seeing it's day 4. I still have the evening and day 5, and we have basically at this point every hunt, every morning and evening, we're pretty much like in some action. We're actually having a lot of fun, a lot of ups and downs at this point.
That
but
many bulls every day, and just with new scenario, that was incredible.
But yeah, the setup was so perfect. Like in the scope, perfect. I mean, just so dead it wasn't even funny. And yeah, I'm telling them I have one in the chamber, safety off, right? Like it was.
You were dang close
Oh god.
to pressing that trigger.
Yeah, he even told us he was shooting, and me and the camera guy were like, "Wait, no!" Like, hang on. So we also knew we still had Jeffrey about 300 yards this way, and in my head, I'm thinking we've got to try them because we know all those bulls are way better than everything we've got sitting here.
Yeah.
So we back off. We actually got around those bulls without spooking them, which was cool. And we know we're close, but we're not quite sure how close. And I think we're just slowly working off the edge, playing the game of please God find them before they find us kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And I think you heard it too. We heard sticks break or something like that, and we both just froze. And I looked over, almost directly to the side of us, and I can't see anything, and I throw out my binoculars, and there he is. And all I can see is from the base of his neck up to his head and his fronts. He had distinct fronts, so I knew exactly who he was. And I told Porter, I said, right there, shoot him. And this...
How close were you?
80, 85,
So you guys
maybe?
are in tight.
Tight.
Yes,
that
that's
timber.
how thick this is, and
Yeah.
it's a weird, like it's a
Timber
weird
is hard.
thing being.
I'm like, that's him. Put it on his neck and fucking kill him. And he pulls out his binoculars to look. And I don't know if this is a trust thing or not. Could be. But he pulled out his binoculars to look. And he saw him, and he put his binoculars back in. And I love these bino harnesses, but this one bit us in the ass. And he closed his bino lid.
Yeah.
And if it's,
Why'd you-
if
why'd
it's
you-
colder, it's louder.
Why'd you
sometimes.
look though?
It's there's something weird. You got to get used to it. I mean, I just like not knowing you can see all you're shooting a body. It's the body, and there's 3 or 4 bulls over there. And at this point, I don't remember. My memory wasn't as confident that it was Jeffrey. I mean, they're definitely the shooter bulls, but there's 4 bulls over there. We saw them as the ones we saw earlier in the morning. It wasn't for sure Jeffrey. We thought one was Jeffrey, but one was in the window.
It was Jeffrey.
It very well
If
could
it
have
was
been.
distinct fronts, you're 80 yards.
Well, he didn't say.
I don't think I told him.
He didn't
just-
say
Oh,
all that.
oh.
I just,
he
I
just
just
said
said it was him.
He just said shoot.
Yeah.
And so to go like this and not know what you're shooting is like a weird thing. And
But he knew what you were shooting.
I did.
well, he said shoot. And I mean, we're talking about 5 seconds, right? We're not talking about like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was 5 seconds too long. I should have it's just a weird thing, killing something and not knowing what the heck it is.
Yeah. I mean,
Lesson learned for sure.
That's right. I think first time hunting with me. I mean, maybe if somebody's hunted with forever, if somebody said, hey, that's him, kill him, no big deal. But like I said, I mean, for
It
me,
wasn't
I
a trust thing. I didn't know.
I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Not,
I definitely should have gone quick.
in my head, we knew what those 4 bulls were, regardless. So to me, it would have been either one of those is going to be a heck of a lot better. So that's like in my head, I was trying to process it. If it were me, like, yeah, one of those I would have pulled up and shot.
This one happened way faster. Like I definitely could have
we could have popped
probably
a shot off on him.
shot off for sure. The first day one was one that haunts me more though. Still,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this one's like it's chaos.
It's
it's 80
chaos.
yards and jailed. Like
Yeah.
the first one was none of that.
But anyway, it still should have.
So what happened?
I was trying to get my gun up. It was the bino harness. So it was it's like habit of just like, cause like the habit is like, and it's a bad habit. So when I got a break, really, frankly, it's like the habit is get him in the binos to know like what you're looking at, and then go rifle. But that's just taking too much time. I should have just gone rifle because it's like obviously an optic too. But because I didn't see him right, and so he's a foot over from me, so I'm trying to know what he's looking at.
yeah, you want to make sure you're shooting the right bull too.
Yeah, it was the snap of the bino harness, the magnet on the bino harness.
When they all busted?
instant.
Like
I mean, snap, and then you just heard, and I looked back over, and he's gone. I went,
Oh,
yeah. It was a
Oh,
bummer.
boy.
Yeah, that was
lowest
that was
lows
a
again.
couple days of up close and personal, and yeah, that was.
And we passed a bunch of young bulls like every day, like the whole time. Could have shot a couple off the knob that were young, but yeah, that was the third lowest point. That still wasn't as bad as day one or what Jeffrey did to us. That one was just like running and gunning. I actually still had fun on that stock. That was like there was a lot of action in that one.
Oh yeah, no, that was.
But it was still
The interesting part about this little area was this canyon, or this little basin, was all that we had. We tried looking on all sides of it, behind it, everything. Not huntable. Not rifle-wise. Archery, different story maybe.
Yeah.
Or if they were full rut kind of thing. But it was, you either had a shot from the knob or you're getting right up on him.
Were they making any noise, the big bulls?
After the first night, We heard bugles throughout the next few days, but I mean onesies and twosies, and most of the time they were from way down canyon. But anything
It wasn't enough that you could like triangulate and move in on.
Well,
Right.
no,
Yeah.
and everything that was vocal was pretty dinky. Like they were young. It was like young teenagers trying to get the leftovers.
Yeah.
The big bulls were acting super smart late season. Every mature bull like encounter we had, they act. I mean, they spooked and they are gone.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah, it was trippy. Yeah, I know.
Oh God, it's such a. And then day 5.
It was the only day we didn't see new bulls.
Yeah, day 5 was the only day we hadn't
We
seen.
saw the
Really?
same group that was up underneath us the day before, the smaller guys. We hung it out there for a couple hours that morning, and that was all she wrote.
Ouch.
It was tough.
Nothing that night, that whole day, nothing.
No,
No.
that morning. Go ahead.
We had to pull out that day, fifth
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
So we pulled out that afternoon.
Hunted all into the late morning. Didn't turn up. I mean, we turned up a bunch of teenage bulls.
You didn't hunt clear to the bitter end?
Not that evening. No, we had to pull out. We hunted like closer, like some different spots that evening or whatever as we pulled out. But no, we wanted to pull out
Why?
because like
You're digging into it.
to pull to. I mean, at this point we've been gone 8 days,
Yeah.
and so
But what's a half a day when you've been gone 8 days?
the wives are blowing you up, office is blowing you up. It's starting to get like we've been gone a long time, and from a logistical standpoint, you have that evening. The evenings weren't nearly as good as the mornings, and then to be up there that night, and then pull out the next morning, with a 12-hour drive. That's tight to do it that day, and then stretches into, and then we've been gone 10 days, and that's gonna be a little painful on the family and shit like that. So
I do.
and the
same-
plan was always to pull out the evening of day 5, pull off the top at least, and go and like relocate just to get closer to like logistics. We had to drive home the day after the hunt. That was always the plan. So
My itinerary was planned. So,
You didn't have a choice.
yeah.
I don't regret that part of it too much because, I mean, I don't regret that much. I mean, we had 2 to 3 very legit shots. It was the most fun hunt I've ever had where we didn't punch tag. Like, we had a good
You had
Good hunt.
opportunities. You were
We-
close. Saw bulls.
stocks. We had a bunch of different conditions. I mean, we got the full backpack experience, which is what I wanted, and it was definitely a lot of mixed emotions. Obviously, driving home still stings me pretty good.
Burning some points.
Yeah, well, and then you chase the that was the other thing too. We chased really good bulls the first 3 days. 3 days in a row had legit encounters and all that, and then I don't know. I mean, I could tell Scott wanted to see something go down. He didn't care what, but so I felt bad that we didn't get that part of the experience. But I don't know. I have a weird, like, I don't know. I don't like just killing to just kill. I want to kill and like, I don't know. I just like I don't want to just kill anything I see. I wanted something mature. That was the goal from the start, and I didn't want to change off of that. I had plenty of chances, and I think between Scott and our camera guy, they didn't love that. They wanted something down.
Both of them wanted death upon them. Now that was the most action I've had in one spot in that short amount of time. Just morning, afternoon, night. I mean, it was just weird. It was pretty incredible.
Yeah, a lot of elk. And bulls. You said you only saw 3 cows the entire time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and remember the mule
All
deer?
bulls.
Yeah, the mule deer.
The
The fair species.
I'd have to, by far, I'd have to find video of this, but I got a video of there was one mule deer doe walking up the hill. Right behind her was a bull walking up. 5 foot behind her. Right behind him was the other doe. Those 2 does lived in there. They were there all the whole time, followed by another bull. And they're just walking. The first one would stop and feed. The bull would stop and feed. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Little
I mean,
centuries.
I've seen them like together, but
That's kind of interesting. Yeah.
They were hanging.
dude, they were chilling. Yeah.
That's why when those does busted, the bull busted too. Because
Oh,
typically, I've been on so many hunts where busted doe and the elk don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but they obviously were like, it's like busting another elk.
Yeah. It was the weirdest thing.
Gear check though, remember we were talking about eyewear going in. Figured out my system.
Figured it
Change
out.
my contacts midday when there's daylight and all that,
Oh, yeah.
using the camera, and then keep the contacts in through the evening, through the morning hunt, and change them midday.
You slept in them?
Yep.
Oh, I can't do that.
But if they're fresh, like I basically would change them at 2 or 3 in the afternoon, so they're pretty fresh through the evening, and then they didn't bother me at all in the morning. But that was a game changer. Not having to, never was late to our knob. Like that was a huge
My eyes
thing.
are hurting right now thinking about that. No, I'm dead serious.
We had water filter issues. 2 water filters busted. Two.
Froze?
I don't want to put them on blast, but we should probably. What were they? Mine was
They were catadines.
both
Both
of
of
them.
them? How'd they bust? What was it?
I think mine was just plugged, but Scotty's or his broke.
Straight up busted
Yeah.
after one. He got water the very first, like the day he was like doing camp chores. He filled them up fast, and then after that we were using Nate, the camera guys, which was I think ended up being awesome. It's slow, but
They were the Sawyer squeeze bags that he had.
Yeah.
So we'd just fill up one of them, squeeze
Squeeze
into
it
our
up.
stuff, squeeze it. And
take forever, but whatever.
Yeah.
So
I had,
that was
I had drops and tabs and my.
So yes, you had backups
I
at
had
least, which is
backups,
smart.
Yeah.
boots were perfect. Didn't
Yep.
need insulated with the Gators, even though it was cold. So I had the thick socks, rotated them. I had a pair of kind of regular thickness and then thick ones, and I'd rotate them because it got cold and warm. Like the weather changed pretty good. 0 degree was definitely a mistake. I was sweating.
0 degree bag.
Yeah, I should have done the 15 for sure. It was big and heavy and just not needed.
So quickly though, speaking of the gear thing, so last time we had you on the podcast was episode 89. It was like, what was it called? Critiquing Chris Porter's late season gear list. What did you think of that new like format, Nate, of like having someone talk through the gear and having other people sit there and like critique it a little bit, give some thoughts. You can talk about it a little bit more in depth rather than one person just stand up there and ramble off.
No, I loved it because I mean, even if it's not you, I think there would be some really good chatter from the gallery on said pieces, either straight informational questions or just maybe a little ribbing for why would you take that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind
It was
of
Porter, so it was a little bit extra ribbing.
Oh
so,
yeah, that was
We
great.
had to.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
going to be on the other side with you and your 10 little pieces of toilet paper. You
That's
Dirtbag.
disgusting. That's disgusting.
I'm a dirtbag camper, yeah. I'll admit it. But I wish I knew if it was Instagram or the guy's name or it was on YouTube, but we did have comments lately because a lot of people know that we all wear contacts. Like, have you ever thought about LASIK? Because that's what the guy's question is. Like, could we save a bunch of weight not having contacts, the ease of not getting our fingers dirty all the time, popping new contacts in. Have you looked at it?
Yeah, I actually was I had like an appointment. I had to pre-op. I was really close to doing it 5 years ago. I got a little gun shy at the end about it. It's just like something laser my eye. I mean, the technology is so good now, but I don't know. Yeah, everyone says they have amazing experiences, but if your eyes are still changing,
Yeah.
that's when you don't want to do it because it could kind of wear off 10 years from now. So my eyes are still like changing. The prescription's slowly changing in the last 5 years, like a quarter point or whatever. Like,
Getting worse?
yeah. So I figured just wait till it really flattens out. But outside of hunting, they don't bother me at all.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I don't know what problem I'm really solving. And now that I have my little hack system with like sleeping in it, it doesn't really
call it a hack?
bother me.
Or do you call it a
I don't want to call that a hack.
compromise?
It's a hack.
My eyes are hurting just thinking about it. But I think about LASIK every day, but I am absolutely terrified of it.
I'm terrified too.
I'm like, not to try and make myself sound cool by any means, but I am good with surgeries and pain, and like it doesn't bother me. Like I'm totally cool with it. If I got to go do it, yep, let's go do it. Whatever, cut me open, all good. Like doesn't freak me out. I got 2 things in my life that freak me out and like genuinely terrify me, and I'm due for both of them. I got 2 healthy kids, and I'm done having kids. My wife and I both. So I got to get clipped, and I got to do my eyes, and I am genuinely terrified of both. And I think about them, and I'm like, I try to get myself to man up, and I'm like, I usually do a really good job of my internal man up to go take care of shit I need to take care of, and I can't do it. LASIK and getting clipped. I just can't do it.
Dude, you have had legit surgeries. You are
I've had
tough as nails when it comes to that stuff. I am the worst at stuff like that. Where it couldn't be polar opposites. You dropped me off at my appointment where I got clipped.
because you couldn't even drive.
If I can do it, you can do that.
It's just two things. Like I've had an unbelievable amount of surgeries, and like I'm got tattoos everywhere. Like I did shit that like that doesn't bother me. I could go in for a surgery right now on my shoulder again or my knees or any of that stuff, but just those two things. I don't know why.
Genuinely, well, I mean, there's
I got issues
valid
with my
reasons.
eyes being touched and my nuts being touched.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. The eyes actually makes a little bit more sense. The nuts thing is genuinely not. You know me. I would say it's not. It's really not bad.
I got a mental block on those two things. I don't know.
Yeah, to me, it's hard to go into a surgery knowing it's elective.
Yeah.
Like, it's on you in a sense. Like you're doing it. You don't really need to in a sense, but
I mean, I've essentially done elective surgeries. I didn't have to get my shoulder fixed or anything, but I did. I mean, I guess that's not technically elective because I knew my life was going to be so much better. Well, I mean, shit, I guess that's this way too. Your life's going to be a lot better with these two.
But to me, it's
procedures.
eyes. It's like I can see,
man.
I can see right now. What if? The what ifs.
Take my hearing.
I don't want to live on what ifs in life.
Take my hearing. Take my smell. I want my eyes.
I mean, you're solving a bit of a problem with
You are.
the nuts one, but I don't know if you're solving a problem.
I thought you were going to do the other one. So
No,
I'm
like
taking
what-
back my you are part.
What
But
you can put your contacts on in the pitch black.
yeah, easily.
Like it's
I can
not.
too.
It doesn't. So what problem are you solving?
But I could also,
It's more of a convenience. It's not bad. I mean, weight.
just think how many more.
Wait,
Just
you're
think how many more
gonna- you're
ounces
gonna
of
pull out
toilet
the weight
paper
card
I
on
could bring
contacts?
if I didn't have contacts.
Hey, producer Bougie Boar, what's the weight of 2 contacts?
nothing.
It's nothing. So
Can't be much.
I feel like what's a couple funny stories because we kind of ended on this real downer moment. The hunt was fun. Obviously, it's not. It's you always leave a little mixed when you don't punch the tag, but we had action.
The loses are 25 milligrams.
Okay, so they weigh like nothing. So contacts. Okay, so who cares, guys? We have to pack in contacts. But the
25 milligrams is 0.0008 ounces.
There we go.
that's nothing.
I don't think you're going to be able to take much more toilet paper.
Nope.
Yeah.
I'm set with my 1 ounce.
Okay, on
that's
the budget,
so
you
gross.
guys, let's find budget for new chairs. These chairs are brutal.
Hey, it has not been recorded.
It's on. Check the tape.
Or you could give us little
It's on
pillows
tape.
to sit on.
No, you're not getting pillows. You can share.
These honestly are insanely uncomfortable. This is like reminds me of Scotty's knob.
Yeah. Which was not that comfortable of a knob.
No. We had fun though.
No, it was a great time.
We were in it. We had a great time.
So after going through that hunt, what was your like biggest takeaway from it? And maybe like advice someone runs in the same situation you experienced on a hunt like that.
What do you got over there, Big Nate?
If they were in that same situation,
Tight canyon, timber, knowing you're seeing some bulls, anything you guys would have done,
when you get
Different.
the shot, take it.
get the shot, take it.
Quickly.
Just, I mean, like I said, there's no reason to overcomplicate it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't let your guard down. Know what you need to do and shoot him. And yeah, and for most people, that's just experience, really.
It is entirely experience.
Yeah.
That was my first experience in timber. It's like you put me in that exact same hunt next year. It's so different. So I mean, it's a good learning. I mean, it was humbling.
Yeah.
Like that was I've done a lot of hunts, and I felt like I've been hunting pretty legit for 10 years now, not 30. By no means like an expert, but I've done some pretty legit hunts. I've not been in those experience like that situation at all, and I felt very new, very fast again. It was humbling for sure, and it was like picking them up in the timber, like picking up the movement, picking up the quickness, and you have to think so quickly, and you have to just if you shoot the wrong bullet, it is what it is. Like those situations, like they're not perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So-
never perfect.
No, I mean from a logistics side, food side, gear side, like all of that was dialed. Like,
Of course it was. That's what you're good at. That's not your first rodeo there.
No,
Yeah,
No.
that's dialed.
Speaking of though, first rodeos, young Omar had a question. Young Omar had a question for you. Before we start the podcast, he's like, "You got to bring this thing up." So recently, he got back the photos from Nate from the whole hunt. He's like,
Little Nate, not this Nate.
"Yep."
Camera guy Nate.
And we were looking at him as well, and we're like, "What can we really do with some of these photos? Like they're baller photos. Like he's a great photographer, phenomenal photographer, but just the talent behind the photo." Christopher Porter's backpack situation. Porter, you gotta start taking. You gotta have a tight ship when it comes to your backpack. You
gotta run
this
a tight
photo on the
ship.
vision right now. The young one told me to bring up. Porter has his backpack. It looks kind of nice. Some straps are kind of going here or there, but whatever. Backpacks sometimes have a lot of straps. He has his tent strapped to the bottom outside his backpack. Up on top, he has a sleeping bag, not in a compression sack. It doesn't look like. Just like underneath his top lid, just like kind of stuff all over the place. And I'm like, it would be a great photo if it was just in his backpack looking good.
What's the story there?
What's the story there, Porter?
That's a good question from our social media guru.
He's
cares
just looking
about
out
the
for you. He's
assets.
looking out for the comments.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with that photo. And I will defend this position all day long. That backpack setup, money.
Nothing was swinging around, bouncing.
No, look, I'm a big Crocs guy. Big Crocs guy. Got to have Crocs.
Yep.
Camp shoes. They weigh nothing. Those hang on the outside. Okay.
Oh yeah, I forgot the Crocs. The Crocs are on there too. Yeah.
Yeah. Crocs are on the outside. That's what he's talking about.
Crocs are on the outside. I put that
The
too.
Stone Glacier tent, it is bomb proof. It is big. It is like a mansion. It's large though. It takes up a lot of room. There was not room in the body of my backpack with all my food. I bring
You do have a lot of food, yes.
top ramen, another camp pack. How jealous were you? I had this coffee. I was serving everyone coffee every day.
I wasn't jealous. I had some top ramen.
Tom ramen. We were vibing.
Yeah.
So plenty of food I took up there. The tent did not have room in the body of the backpack. So on the bottom, actually rode perfectly fine.
Yep, there is straps down there. I'll give you credit for that.
There's straps. It was tight. I was leading the pack on the way in, by the way. Was I not?
Yes.
Okay. You seem reserved. Do you have something to say?
Well, no,
You can put me on blast. He's holding back a little bit.
Well, I mean, it was your hunt, so I was letting you go. But yeah.
Do you know what a compression sack is?
The sleeping bag. Yeah, I don't. It doesn't do a lot for me.
Okay.
Like I could have. Look, the 0 degrees giant.
Yeah.
So
And you said you wish you would have taken
I
the
would
15.
have. I definitely should have
Yeah,
taken the
taken
15.
less
It is
bulk, yeah.
bulky.
What is
right?
the one issue that could potentially happen if you carry your sleeping bag in the form or fashion that you did?
Oh, I mean, it rains.
No. What happened to Scotty, who had his rigged the same way that you did? He ripped,
Bump, bump, bum.
Did he?
caught a tree
caught a tree?
and
Did he
ripped,
rip his sleep bag?
not the bag, thank God, but it ripped the sack.
Oh, yeah.
Put a big hole in the sack, so now he no longer has a stuffed sack, but now your sleeping bag's exposed, so now you're worrying about, am I going to snag it?
Yeah. Lose all that insulation.
Yeah, I mean, it's not ideal situation. The 0 degree actually was not that much heavier than the 15, which is kind of why I ended up doing it. I mean, it was like, you can fact check me, but I swear it's like 6 ounces or something. It is bulkier though. It takes up a lot more room. Should have probably done a compression sack. Yeah, I don't advise sleeping bag on the outside. It was under my lid. It was pretty protected. And at the top, it's actually.
We'll see. We'll check the asset.
It's Omar is embellishing. Look, Omar goes on a guided hunt with Lorenzo Sartini in New Mexico, comes back with a bull, and now he's popping advice to everybody.
He's a backcountry king.
Yes, so
King
he is.
of a lot.
His head's gotten a little big. He's embellishing for sure. The Crocs were definitely swinging around, but other than that thing was high and tight.
Yeah. I only bring it up too because like I have this photo and I've shared it a couple times on my Instagram, just like looking back at how I used to backpack until now. I did the same thing back in the day. I had a giant sleeping bag on the bottom of my backpack, and that was one of those old like JanSport external frames. Yeah. And it was swinging the whole time, like banging in my ass. I had my Camelback and had the outer sleeve on it for some reason to protect everything. But Camelback was on the outside. So like bladder has a great chance to get popped. Up on top was a sleeping bag thing hanging off. And then there was a giant roll top pad.
Yeah.
Those old ones all hanging off outside my backpack.
I have wildly refined mine as well.
Yeah. It's just like, to me, it's funny looking back at that one because like I was like, what was I thinking?
Yeah.
Doing that. But you do have some use cases. Your stuff is pretty dialed, so I'll let it slide. Young Omar just
Omar
had a
doesn't
big
know
request.
shit. So the sleeping bag, definitely don't advise. I advise against on the outside, but it was very protected on top of the lid. My backpack rode great. The other thing was the swig rig. I mean, this is like 2 months ago when we did this gear list. Our stories are, I got to brush up my memory here a little bit. But the other thing we were debating was the swig rig thing. Money. The Nalgene.
Oh, the double Nalgenes?
No bladder, double Nalgene was perfect. That was a great setup. Oh, the water enhancer things. What are they called? The hydration
supplements.
Yeah, like
Water supplements.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I do think I do think those were. You act like you've been doing that for like a decade. Everyone around here has been doing this for like a year.
I have been taking supplements for over a decade.
In the backcountry.
Absolutely, without question.
Fact check that. I don't know.
100%.
I can fact check it. You look back on.
Go to our very
below
first
zero.
hunt. Yeah.
Below zero. That's almost 10 years ago now.
Like I've been for over a decade.
It was. I actually enjoyed those a lot. I did feel better. I felt great up there. Like energy level was great. Like I felt really good about the setup.
Yeah,
Camp,
it's amazing
everything.
what supplements will do.
Yeah, that was
great.
That was a huge win. What else was debatable?
Any gear that you never used that you brought? That looking back on, you can just like get rid of it.
Cat got your tongue over here, big dog?
No, everything I took, I used.
Spotter, optic setup, dialed, good choice there.
Yeah, the 10s.
Cannot stress the SIGs in timber like that enough.
Oh God, yeah, I didn't.
sense.
I mean,
I'm so glad I got Lorenzo converted.
I mean, my use cases this year, because we were hunting crazy thick timber too with Omar on his elk, and then the story of my sheep, how I found the sheep that was hit. Like I cannot stress it enough. It's incredible.
I can see where you're coming from. I mean, that close and that much background.
I mean, it's glassing off a tripod.
Yeah.
Within a half a second. It's just
that would have been a game changer. I never really thought about that. That would have been huge. That would have been huge.
The timber. I don't know how you can hunt the timber otherwise. I really don't. Now doing it,
It's hard to go back.
I don't know how I could ever hunt the timber efficiently without having those.
The Tricer tripod was fantastic. That was the first time I ran that. The little handle, I loved it. It was super compact. The 15s, normally I run like a 12 or 12 or 15 off a tripod. That was the first time I've had 10s on my tripod in a long time. I was picking stuff up like crazy. Granted, they were elk, but like that tripod, it was unbelievable.
Good field of view too with the 10s.
What was the bino adapter I took to the ASIAC?
Oh yeah, you had the ASIAC. Yeah, I put that on
thing
for
was
one.
fantastic.
Clothing?
First time I ran no soft shell.
Yeah, how'd that go?
Loved it. Loved it. I get what you guys are saying now. Like,
It has its purpose on certain hunts for sure.
For a backpack, because it's a little heavier and it's not as packable. I took the Cirque Light, was fantastic, and it was really breathable. You can actually do some light hiking in it. Some of those stocks, I had that on when it's real cold. But just the down setup is obviously critical when it's super cold. No, our gear was pretty dialed. We were ready to kill. We just didn't kill.
Still gonna be a film coming out on the hunt.
Yeah. I mean, look,
That much action, you have to.
yeah, and it's hard. Like when I came back, all my non-hunting friends like, "Wait, you were gone 8 days? You were just hiking around?" It's like, no, it's hunting. You don't always kill. But it's painful, but it's part of hunting, and it's like, especially when you're trying to hunt like mature animals, that sucks. It's not fun. It's part of hunting. So a lot of my non-hunting friends they don't get it.
Yeah,
no meat.
This shit ain't a guarantee.
No.
Like, you actually got to work pretty goddamn hard.
Could have been giving all your friends jerky and sticks for Christmas.
Could have been.
I mean, to kill, mature, the animals that should be being killed. Like to kill one of those, shit's hard work. You got to work pretty goddamn hard.
And I'm proud that he held the line and didn't, drop down to shoot something else just to shoot something.
It's tough there.
Comes with maturity. It does.
I mean, I had to grab a hold of the collar a couple times.
I got one more question. Again, it comes from our awesome friend, Young Omar. Is Chris Porter ever going to get into archery?
I'm really close. Watching Lorenzo's archery shop next door, I share one with him, and I pop my head in there, and he's.
Let me tell you what. You want some real highs and lows, like some real ones. Get into archery hunting.
Well, it opens up a lot more opportunities to draw tags, of course. Like this area, if they were vocal, it's like so different.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm torn. Like it takes more time.
Yeah.
And I don't
need
have
more time
right
away
now.
from family.
I don't have for the next. How old is my oldest? My oldest daughter's 9. Until she's 16, and I'm like coaching her sports in the fall and this and that. Time is precious. So there's absolutely a time where I'm going to geek out about it. I don't know if it's this year or it's coming up. Like I'm definitely like really close. Just that time commitment is the problem. It's that's the issue. What about you? This guy's a rifle guy too, and he's got all the time in the world.
Alleged. Yeah, I don't know. I have missed one of the biggest deer I've ever shot at with a bow, and I haven't touched it since. And that was years ago, and I'm probably due.
Look, if you want the real highs and lows, like I'm talking ones that like you can't recover from highs and lows. Get into bow hunting.
Okay.
I mean, we saw it firsthand with
We've all been
our
there.
guy
Yeah.
Bradley.
We've all been there.
You do live in a good state, Mr. Nate.
I know.
Picking
But
up
I'm
the bow.
okay. So here's my biggest peeve, and it's I'm a hardhorn guy. I don't get me wrong. I love mule deer, big and small, love them all. But yeah, hardhorn. I just not velvet. Nope. I don't know
Not
why.
your look.
I don't. Yeah, I don't. I really don't.
I do. I think hardhorn are better looking.
Yeah, I do.
I think it's better looking.
Yeah, for those of you wondering, Nate lives the dream. He relocated to Wyoming, 2 years
Couple
ago?
years ago.
So he gets to go buy deer and elk tags at Ace Hardware.
Oh, live that dream, buddy.
All right. So before I get yelled at by Katie, and before our camera overheats, we gotta call this one.
Call it. We can definitely do that. I appreciate you guys coming on.
I'm only 25 minutes late. Katie should be super happy.
We all get yelled at by Katie.
Yeah, we all do.
Thanks for having us on, guys.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Most
Thank you.
requested guest, Christopher Porter.
Yeah.
Round of applause. There we go. There we go.
I
See ya.
won't be asked back with how depressing this one was.
No, this was solid. I like this.
Thanks.